Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the cordless Milwaukee table saw. I bought this thing last year in November. Milwaukee was having a little special, as they normally do, between Thanksgiving and Christmas at Home Depot, and I got a terrific deal on this thing. At the time it was $550. I think MSRP on it since then has actually gone up just slightly. I was able to pick it up because they were offering an additional 12.0 battery with the saw. The saw as is comes with a 12.0 battery, which is a monster. You can cut on this thing all day. You can rip things all day long with this saw without having to change out the battery. And I got an additional one, so that's a good tip. Milwaukee always does something around that time of year. But I've had the saw for about 9-10 months now, and I'm gonna let you know what I think about this saw. And no, Milwaukee is not sponsoring me in any way, shape, or form. I'm a residential general contractor, and I use this thing all the time. I've put it through its paces for almost the past year and beat it up quite a bit, in and out of the van, in and out of all kinds of different job sites on a daily basis. And I'm gonna let you know how it holds up and held up and what I think about it. Okay, first of all, I'd like to point out the obvious similarities between this saw and the DeWalt, which is probably corded saw, which is probably the most commonly used saw that I typically see on job sites. This thing's extremely similar to that saw. That saw is a tried and true unit. So if you're familiar with the DeWalt, you're going to be extremely familiar with this because the functionality is virtually identical. The way it works is virtually identical, but it's just a little bit better. It works a little bit more seamlessly. It slides a little bit nicer. Everything's a bit smoother. Now, keep in mind, it is a little bit more expensive as well. One thing to note about this saw is when you turn it off, the blade stops spinning really quickly. That's something that I can't necessarily say for the DeWalt. Once you turn it off, it's still not necessarily even safe for another 10 seconds because the blade will still spin. So in that respect, I really like this saw. Virtually everything else is very similar. You're able to get a reading on the measurement of what you're trying to rip really easy with this. It's extremely accurate. As long as you don't torque on it too bad, it's going to stay pretty accurate. Everything's really easy to adjust as well, so if something does get off, really easy to just make a minor adjustment and get it right back on line with where it should be. Like I mentioned earlier, this thing comes with a 12.0 battery pack, which is substantial. You can pretty much rip MDF all day long with this stuff. If you're doing a hardwood or a composite, which I have done, if you're doing composite, I definitely recommend getting a Trex blade or a composite blade, because you're gonna go through this one really quick. The one that it comes with is excellent. It does really well at going through even hardwood. This unit also has this one key where you can sync it up with the Milwaukee app, so you can actually view on a map where the saw is, which will give you some peace of mind. It's a brushless motor, and a lot quieter, a lot smoother than some of its more popular corded counterparts. But everything else is pretty much the same. The question is, does a cordless unit work as well as a corded one? And from everybody that I would talk to, most people say, no way. There's no way possible that it works as well, but it does. And I believe it actually works better. I'm constantly on job sites, different job sites, and often I'll get scheduled on a job working new construction, and when I get there, there's 2 other trades there, and then there's 2 more that show up after I get there. So cords and being able to plug things in becomes a real issue. This makes it so you can actually just go home and charge these batteries and then work on them the rest of the day. The other thing that this does come with is a rapid charger. So it's the same charger that the chop saw comes with as well, which actually charges the battery in just a fraction of the time and is considerably better. Okay, so now we're gonna do just a basic cut test so you guys can see how this thing performs. First, we'll be cutting a cedar fence board, 3/4 inch, 5/8, something like that. So it should be pretty easy to cut. Big deal. Now I just got an old 2x4 from my backyard. Let's see how it does. Not bad, and I should add that this is the original blade that I got with it when it was new. If I have to cut like or rip composite decking, I've switched out the blade to a Trex blade, but other than that, this is the same blade. I haven't gotten a new one. I haven't gotten it sharpened or anything like that. So it's almost a year old and it's still doing pretty well. Here's looks like a fir treated board. One line. And it turns right off. I really like the fact that it turns right off. I did not like that about my old saw. Last but definitely not least, this is a hardwood called Kikatong, and it's actually like one of the hardest hardwoods that I've ever cut before, so I decided to take a little piece with me so I can demonstrate how this saw would cut this wood. Actually cut it really well. Nice clean cut on that. Ran through a bit slower, made a lot more dust, but it went through it pretty smooth. Okay guys, in conclusion, I've had this thing for nearly a year. I've beaten the hell out of it, and I love it. I love it. It's great. I wanted to make this video for any of my fellow construction professionals that go out there and wonder if this is actually going to do the trick. Is a cordless table saw good enough? And I would say yes, unless you're cutting like something extremely hard. You might have to charge your battery sometime in the course of the day, but other than that, it's going to last you all day long. It's going to keep you from having to keep on dealing with breakers and different situations. It performs great, it's easy to use, and it's really familiar if you're used to dealing with the DeWalt. So I liked it. I like it. I think you will too. Thanks for watching the video. please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Trying to get the subscribers up, and I am about to do a video as well on the chop saw. So I also got the Milwaukee Cordless chop saw. I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well, and you guys have a good one.